Most men don't understand this, and that's why they struggle in relationships. They try the flashy moves, the expensive gifts, the charm, and the jokes, but it never seems to be enough. They focus on the surface, the visible, the obvious. But what women truly notice, what makes them feel safe, valued, and irresistibly drawn to a man, is something deeper, something most men never even consider. It's not about being rich. It's not about looking like a model. It's not about being the loudest or the most confident in the room. What women love is consistency. What women love is authenticity. What women love is the subtle but powerful way a man shows he sees them, not just their body, not just their smile, but their mind, their emotions, their value as a person. This is what 99% of men fail to do, and that's why so many women walk away feeling unheard, unseen, and unappreciated. Think about it. When was the last time a man truly listened to you, not just heard you, not just waited for his turn to speak, but really understood what you were feeling? When was the last time he remembered the small things you said in passing, the things that mattered to you, the things that show he was paying attention and that you mattered? That is the magic women are drawn to. That is the invisible magnet that makes them feel safe, valued, and loved. Men often think they need to do big, dramatic gestures. But here's the truth: small, meaningful actions speak louder than any grand display. Sending a simple message just to check on her day, remembering the details she casually mentions, offering support without being asked, showing that you care about her happiness as much as your own. That's what women notice, and that's what they crave. It's not complicated. It's not about impressing her in front of friends. It's about showing her that she matters in ways that are subtle, genuine, and consistent. Another thing most men fail at is emotional honesty. They think being strong means hiding their feelings. They think vulnerability is weakness. But here's the irony: vulnerability is what creates connection. When you allow yourself to be human, to show your fears, your dreams, your struggles, you invite her to do the same. You create intimacy that no amount of money, gifts, or charm can replicate. Women love a man who can hold space for both his own emotions and hers without judgment. They love a man who can say, "I don't have all the answers, but I'm here with you." That simple statement, repeated in actions and words, separates the 1% from the 99%. Respect is another area where men fall short. Many men say they respect women, but their actions tell a different story. True respect is shown in how you speak, how you listen, and how you treat her when no one is watching. It's in valuing her opinions, supporting her dreams, and never dismissing her feelings. Women are wired to detect authenticity, and nothing is more attractive than a man whose respect for her is unwavering. Now, let's talk about space. This is something most men misunderstand completely. They think closeness is constant attention. They think love is showing up all the time, checking in every hour, demanding time and energy. But women love a man who has his own life, his own passions, and his own purpose. They love a man who can be present with them fully when they are together, but who doesn't lose himself in the process. The 1% understand that balance, that independence, that mystery. They know that by living a full life, they become irresistible, because women instinctively feel drawn to a man who is whole on his own, not a man who relies on them for validation. Another secret that 99% of men ignore is the power of appreciation. Women notice when their efforts go unseen, their sacrifices unacknowledged, their love taken for granted. But when a man genuinely appreciates her, her beauty, her mind, her strength, her presence, it lights up something deep within her. A simple thank you, a thoughtful compliment, a recognition of her effort. These small gestures are seismic in their impact. They show that you notice, that you value, that you care. And that is what women fall for over and over again. Physical intimacy is another area where most men fail because they misunderstand the nature of attraction. They believe women are driven only by appearance or lust. But what truly makes a woman desire a man is emotional connection, security, and attentiveness. A woman can feel a deep, unbreakable pull toward a man who understands her body as part of her experience, who respects her boundaries, and who makes her feel safe and cherished. The way you touch, the way you hold, the way you engage with her physically, these are the things she remembers, not just in the moment, but forever. Communication is where most relationships falter, and yet it's the simplest thing to master. 99% of men communicate to be right, to win, to impress. The 1% communicate to connect. They listen first, speak second, and always consider her perspective. They don't argue to dominate, they discuss to understand. They don't react impulsively, they respond with thoughtfulness. Women notice this. They feel it. And when a man communicates in this way consistently, he becomes someone she trusts, someone she admires, someone she craves emotionally and mentally. One of the most overlooked aspects of what women love is humor, but not the shallow, surface level kind. Women love a man who can laugh with them, who can lighten the moments of stress, who can make life feel easier without trivializing her struggles. Humor builds connection, relieves tension, and shows intelligence. But it's not about being a clown. It's about timing, insight, and empathy. The 1% understand this instinctively. They don't force jokes, they bring joy naturally, and that joy becomes addictive to her. Consistency in all these areas is key. Women don't fall for men who show up occasionally, who are inconsistent, who make promises they don't keep. They fall for men who are reliable, who are steady, who are predictable in their love and respect. There is a profound power in being that man. It creates trust, it creates safety, and it creates a magnetic pull that makes her want to invest fully in you. Many men underestimate the importance of patience. Women love men who understand timing. They love men who don't rush intimacy, who don't demand attachment, who don't pressure but rather allow a relationship to evolve naturally. Patience shows maturity. Patience shows control. Patience shows that you value her comfort and autonomy. And this, more than anything, separates the men who women leave from the men who women never want to let go of. Now, let's talk about admiration. Women want a man who admires them for who they truly are, not just their beauty, not just their status, but their unique mind, heart, and spirit. Admiration must be genuine, not forced. It must come from a place of respect and love, and it must be shown in ways that resonate with her, whether it's words, actions, or subtle gestures. A man who can make a woman feel truly seen in this way becomes irreplaceable. Finally, let's address self-improvement. Women are naturally drawn to growth. They want a man who is constantly evolving, who seeks to be better, who works on himself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Not out of insecurity, not out of competition, but out of a desire to be the best version of himself. This energy is magnetic because it signals security, capability, and passion. Women don't just love this, they are inspired by it, and they can't help but gravitate toward it. So, what does all this mean? It means that the 1% of men who succeed with women understand a truth that 99% ignore. It's not about tricks, tactics, or games. It's about depth, authenticity, and consistency. It's about seeing a woman, hearing a woman, valuing a woman, and being a man who embodies strength, patience, respect, and growth. When you combine these traits, you become irresistible, not because you try to be, but because you truly are. If you can master these principles, if you can internalize these truths, you will experience a transformation. Women will notice. Women will respect you. Women will desire you in ways that words cannot fully describe. And more importantly, you will feel the confidence, peace, and fulfillment that comes from living as a man who knows his worth and treats others with genuine care. So the question is, are you ready to leave the 99% behind? Are you ready to do what most men won't, to be the man who shows up, listens, respects, and loves in ways that women can't resist? Because the truth is simple. It's not about luck, it's not about timing, and it's not about chance, it's about choice. Every day, every moment, every action, you have the power to be that 1% who women love, who they admire, and who they chase, not because they have to, but because they can't help themselves. The moment you decide to step into that 1%, your life changes, your relationships change, your confidence changes. And the women who once ignored or underestimated you begin to see the real man you are, the man who is rare, who is valuable, and who is unforgettable. So here's your choice. Continue to blend in with the 99%, following the same tired patterns, hoping for different results, or step up, rise above, and do what most men will never do. Women are waiting. Opportunities are waiting. The life you desire is waiting. And it all starts with a single decision: to be the man who doesn't just talk about love, respect, and attention, but embodies it every single day. If you take this step, you won't just attract women, you'll attract the right women. The women who see your value, who appreciate your authenticity, who are drawn to your strength and your depth. And once they are drawn to you, there's no turning back. You'll have tapped into a truth that 99% of men will never know, a power that women instinctively recognize, and a life that is richer, fuller, and more rewarding than you ever imagined. The question now is not, can you do it? The question is, will you? Will you be the man who does what 99% won't, and in doing so, creates a life filled with admiration, love, and irresistible attraction? The choice is yours, and the moment you make it, everything changes. Because here's the secret the world won't tell you: women don't just love actions, they love the man behind the actions. Be that man, and watch how your world transforms. Most men fail to realize the power of anticipation. Women love a man who doesn't give everything at once, who doesn't reveal every layer of himself immediately, who allows her to slowly discover the depth, the mystery, the complexity that makes him unique. This isn't about playing games, it's about self-respect, about understanding that a man who has standards, boundaries, and a life of his own becomes inherently more magnetic. A man who doesn't chase constantly, who doesn't demand attention, who doesn't lower his standards for temporary approval, naturally draws women toward him because they sense his value. Think about the men you've seen who women can't resist. What do they have in common? It's not just looks. It's not just money. It's presence. It's confidence rooted in authenticity. It's the way they carry themselves, the way they treat people around them, the subtle energy that signals, I know who I am and I know my worth. That energy is powerful because it is invisible, yet it is felt in every interaction. Women notice it even when they can't explain why. That is the 1% energy that 99% of men lack, and that is why women are drawn to some men effortlessly while ignoring others. Another secret that men overlook is the importance of being emotionally reliable. Women are constantly scanning the men around them, consciously and unconsciously, to see who is dependable, who can be trusted, who won't waver when life gets complicated. It's not about grand promises, it's about actions that consistently show up. Did you remember her birthday? Did you call when you said you would? Did you respond with care when she shared something vulnerable? Reliability isn't sexy in the obvious way, but it is magnetic in the deepest way because it communicates stability, trustworthiness, and emotional maturity, all traits women instinctively value in a partner. Many men also underestimate the subtle power of complimenting effectively. Women are not impressed by surface-level flattery. They are drawn to men who notice details others overlook. When you acknowledge her intellect, her strength, her unique perspective, or the way she handles life's challenges, you are speaking directly to her heart. A woman who feels seen, heard, and admired in these ways will naturally feel a magnetic pull toward you because you have given her something that few men even attempt: validation that is authentic and meaningful. Listening is a skill most men think they have mastered, but in reality, few ever truly do. Listening is not waiting for your turn to speak. Listening is not planning your response while she talks. True listening is being present in the moment, absorbing her words, understanding the emotion behind them, and responding in a way that shows you truly grasp her experience. When a woman feels genuinely heard, she feels understood, and understanding breeds attraction in ways that charm and gifts never can. The ability to be playful without being disrespectful is another trait women love. Playfulness signals intelligence, creativity, and emotional agility. A man who can make a woman laugh, tease her gently, and create moments of joy without undermining her is doing something rare. He is offering emotional stimulation, the kind that makes life with him feel exciting yet safe. Women are drawn to men who can balance fun and seriousness because it demonstrates control, confidence, and emotional versatility, all highly attractive traits. Another area where men often falters in supporting her ambitions. Too many men see a woman's drive as a threat or feel the need to compete. But women are drawn to men who champion their success, who encourage them to pursue their goals, and who celebrate their victories without envy. Supporting her does not diminish your masculinity. It enhances it because it shows emotional intelligence, security, and generosity of spirit. A man who uplifts a woman's potential creates a bond that is deeply magnetic because she feels empowered and loved simultaneously. Men also underestimate the power of silence. Women notice when a man doesn't feel the need to fill every moment with words, when he can be comfortable in stillness, when he doesn't rely on constant validation or attention. Silence communicates confidence. It communicates inner strength. It communicates a life that is full and complete on its own terms. When a man masters the art of silence, he becomes intriguing, mysterious, and irresistible because women sense the depth beneath the surface. Consistency in emotional regulation is another overlooked factor. Women are naturally attuned to mood swings and instability. A man who remains composed under stress, who doesn't react impulsively, who handles conflict with thoughtfulness, is perceived as stable and secure, qualities that women crave. Emotional stability signals that he can be a partner in both good times and challenging ones, that she can rely on him without fear, and that his presence is a source of calm rather than chaos. Stability breeds trust, and trust is one of the most potent forces in attraction. Generosity of spirit is another element women love. This isn't about money, it's about how a man gives of himself, his time, his attention, his effort. Women are drawn to men who are generous with kindness, who don't hold back in helping others, who are willing to show empathy and compassion without expecting anything in return. This kind of generosity communicates strength and self-sufficiency because a man who can give freely without insecurity signals abundance in every aspect of life. Humility is another powerful trait. Women are drawn to men who are confident yet humble, who can acknowledge mistakes, learn from experiences, and show growth. Arrogance is a turnoff because it signals insecurity behind a mask. Humility, however, signals a man who is grounded, authentic, and secure in himself. A woman senses this, and it cultivates respect, admiration, and attraction simultaneously. Passion is critical. Women love men who are alive with purpose, who pursue their goals with intensity, who have dreams and work tirelessly to achieve them. Passion is magnetic because it communicates vitality, ambition, and vision, all traits that women naturally admire. It's not about obsessing over work or neglecting relationships. It's about showing that life is larger than the mundane, that you have direction, and that you are willing to strive for excellence. A passionate man draws a woman's energy toward him because she sees a life of abundance, excitement, and meaning reflected in him. Vulnerability combined with strength is perhaps the ultimate trait women love. A man who can show his soft side without losing his sense of self, who can express his fears without being controlled by them, who can love deeply without fear of rejection. This is the rare man women instinctively gravitate toward. Vulnerability builds intimacy, intimacy builds desire, and desire builds attraction that is both emotional and physical. And finally, self-respect is non-negotiable. Women love men who value themselves, who set boundaries, and who do not compromise their standards for temporary comfort or approval. Self-respect communicates that you are worthy of love, attention, and admiration. It communicates that you are someone who will not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or disregard. When a man exudes self-respect, he becomes magnetic not because he tries to impress, but because he embodies a truth that resonates on a deep, instinctual level. So now, after everything, the question is this: will you be the man who does what 99% of men won't? Will you show up with authenticity, consistency, and depth? Will you listen when others fail to hear? Will you respect when others belittle? Will you support when others compete? Will you love in ways that are rare, subtle, and transformative? The moment you decide to embrace these principles, everything changes. Women notice, opportunities multiply, your confidence skyrockets. Your presence becomes magnetic, undeniable, and unforgettable. Because here's the ultimate truth: women don't just love actions, they love the man behind the actions. They love the man who is grounded, self-aware, and unshakably secure. They love the man who can balance strength with sensitivity, power with gentleness, ambition with humility. And once you become that man, once you embody that truth consistently in your life, there is no turning back. You step into a world where women admire you, desire you, and cannot resist the energy you radiate. Now is your moment. Step into it. Do what 99% of men never do. Be consistent. Be authentic. Be emotionally intelligent. Be reliable. Be passionate. Be self-respecting. Be the man who doesn't just chase love, but becomes the kind of man who love naturally chases. And once you do, you will see something extraordinary happen. Women will not just notice you, they will be drawn to you, captivated by you, and inspired by the man you have become. Because the truth is simple: extraordinary men create extraordinary attraction. And extraordinary attraction creates a life filled with connection, respect, and undeniable desire. Will you be that man?